Dr. Elena Santos never expected her first diplomatic mission to end with her being quarantined in an alien research vessel. Yet here she was, separated from her colleagues by a quantum-reinforced barrier, while a dozen Scathari scientists observed her with their compound eyes, reflecting a mixture of fear and fascination. "Please remain calm, Dr. Santos," Chief Researcher Vextal's translated voice buzzed through the communications system. His crystalline exoskeleton shifted colors rapidly, a sign of extreme agitation among his species. "We are attempting to understand what we're seeing." Elena glanced at the holographic readouts floating around her containment chamber. Her vital signs appeared normal, though the alien medical equipment seemed to be having trouble processing her data. "I'm perfectly fine," she insisted, trying to keep her voice steady. "Whatever happened in the reception hall?" "You should be dead," Vextal interrupted, his colors now pulsing between deep purple and electric blue. The Navari delegation's defensive response released enough compound K789 to destroy all organic matter within a 1,000-meter radius. Every other being in that room required immediate molecular reconstruction. "Yet you," his voice trailed off as he studied another readout. Elena remembered the moment clearly. The diplomatic reception had been going well until someone mentioned Earth's rapid technological advancement. The Navari ambassador's protective swarm had interpreted some gesture as a threat, releasing their species' defensive spores. In the chaos that followed, Elena had simply assumed the emergency systems had protected everyone. "The compound is still present in your system," another scientist announced, their tentacles weaving complex patterns in the air. "But instead of cellular breakdown, your body appears to be processing it. This is unprecedented." Elena fought back a surge of frustration. "Look, I understand this is unexpected, but I'm a xenobiologist myself. If you share your data, maybe we can work together too." A new alarm cut through the chamber. The readings around Elena's containment field began flickering wildly. "Impossible," Vextal whispered. "Her cellular structure is not just resistant, it's adapting. The compound is being broken down and repurposed." Through the quantum barrier, Elena watched as more alien scientists rushed into the observation area. Their reactions would have been almost comical if the situation weren't so serious. One junior researcher actually molted their outer shell in shock when they saw the latest readings. "Chief Researcher," a new voice cut through the chaos. A tall figure stepped into view, their black armor absorbing light in an unnatural way. "The Galactic Security Council has been notified. This facility is now under quarantine. Prepare the human for transfer to Deep Station Zero." Elena felt her blood run cold. Deep Station Zero was supposed to be a myth, a black site where the most dangerous biological agents in the galaxy were studied. "Now wait just a minute," she started, but the armored figure ignored her. "The human represents a Level 1 evolutionary anomaly," they continued. "Her ability to survive and adapt to K789 suggests terrifying implications about Earth's biological potential. The Council has authorized all necessary measures to understand this. Advantage." Vextal's colors shifted to a deep red. Concern, Elena's xenobiology training supplied. "Honored Executor, she came here as a diplomatic representative. The human authorities will be informed that she was unfortunately lost in the Navari incident." The executor cut him off. "The Council's decision is final. Prepare for transfer in 6 hours." As the executor turned to leave, Elena caught a glimpse of a symbol on their armor, a spiral of interconnected DNA strands from a dozen species. She recognized it from her studies of galactic history. It belonged to the Department of Evolutionary Security, a secretive organization dedicated to controlling the development of emerging species. Elena looked around her containment chamber with new eyes. 6 hours. 6 hours to figure out how to escape from a quantum-reinforced cell, evade the most powerful security force in the galaxy, and somehow warn Earth that humanity's biological uniqueness had just made them a target. The irony wasn't lost on her. She'd come here to study alien life forms, only to discover she was about to become the most studied specimen in the galaxy. As she watched the scientists continue their frantic analysis, a plan began forming in her mind. After all, if her cells could adapt to a deadly alien compound, maybe she could adapt to this situation too. She just hoped she'd live long enough to understand why she'd survived in the first place. Deep Station Zero lived up to its reputation. Through the reinforced observation windows of her new quarters, Elena could see nothing but the endless void of intergalactic space. No stars, no planets, no hope of rescue. The facility hung in the darkness between galaxy arms, the perfect place to conduct experiments that no one was supposed to know about. Fascinating, Dr. Ixel muttered, her crystalline appendages clicking as she adjusted another scanner. Your cellular structure continues to evolve even without external stimuli. It's as if your entire biology is in a constant state of controlled mutation. Elena lay strapped to an examination table, surrounded by equipment that looked more like torture devices than scientific instruments. 2 weeks of tests had taught her to stay silent during these sessions. Every observation she offered was ignored, every question met with cold silence. Proceed with Trial 37B, Ixel commanded. A robotic arm descended from the ceiling, holding a vial of swirling purple liquid. This is a modified strain of K789, enhanced with proteins from 17 deadly species. Previous test subjects. She paused, mandibles twitching. Well, data is data. Elena tensed as the first drop fell toward her exposed arm. She'd learned that showing fear only excited them more. The liquid hit her skin and immediately began to smoke. Pain shot through her nervous system, but it was different this time. More focused. Almost like remarkable. Ixel's voice rose with excitement. The compound is being actively redirected by her immune response. Security, are you recording this? Through tears of pain, Elena watched the purple substance move through her veins like lightning, leaving trails of bioluminescence under her skin. But instead of destroying tissue, it seemed to be integrating. She could feel her body adapting, learning, evolving in real time. Her core temperature is rising. One of the security officers noted, their environmental suit glowing with warning symbols. Ma'am, these readings are exceeding safety protocols. Ixel waved a crystalline limb dismissively. Increase containment field strength. This is precisely what the Council wanted to see. If human biology can naturally counter our most effective weapons, we need to understand. A loud crack interrupted her. The observation window, designed to withstand the pressure of deep space, had begun to spiderweb with fractures. Alarms blared as the room's atmosphere sensors went haywire. Impossible, Ixel whispered. The containment field. Elena felt it too. Something was changing. The pain had transformed into a strange kind of awareness. She could sense the energy patterns of a containment field, could somehow see the quantum fluctuations that powered it, and more importantly, she could see its weaknesses. Full lockdown. Ixel screamed as more cracks appeared, spreading like frost across the reinforced windows. Security, neutralized there. The containment field shattered. In the chaos that followed, Elena's restraints snapped like tissue paper. Her body moved with impossible speed, dodging security officers as if they were standing still. Every system in her enhanced nervous system was firing at once, processing information faster than humanly possible. She reached the laboratory door just as the emergency protocols engaged. Through the closing blast doors, she caught a glimpse of Ixel's terrified face. "What are you?" the alien scientist demanded. Elena surprised herself by laughing. "I'm what happens when you push evolution too far," she answered, watching the purple glow pulse beneath her skin. "And I'm starting to think that's exactly what you were trying to do." The blast doors sealed with a final thud, but Elena barely noticed. Her enhanced senses were already mapping the station's layout, identifying escape routes, calculating probabilities. The compound that should have killed her had instead unlocked something buried deep in human DNA, something that had been waiting for the right catalyst. As security alarms echoed through Deep Station Zero, Elena Santos realized she wasn't just a test subject anymore. She was proof that humanity's potential was far more dangerous than anyone had imagined. And somewhere in this facility were answers about why the most powerful beings in the galaxy were so afraid of what humans might become. She just had to stay alive long enough to find them. The maintenance tunnels of Deep Station Zero were never meant for human navigation, but Elena's enhanced body squeezed through gaps that would have been impossible days ago. Purple bioluminescence rippled under her skin, providing just enough light to navigate the darkness. Behind her, security drones scanned for biological signatures, while the station's AI announced containment protocols in 17 different languages. Level 7 breach in Research Sector Beta, the mechanical voice droned. All personnel initiate emergency quarantine procedures. Warning: subject displays unprecedented biological adaptation capabilities. Elena paused at a junction, her newly enhanced senses processing information at extraordinary speeds. She could feel the vibrations of approaching security teams through the station's skeleton, could almost taste the electromagnetic fields from their weapons. More importantly, she could sense something else: a massive power signature deep below, carefully hidden from normal detection. Unauthorized access detected in Archive Node 7, the AI announced. Security teams converge. Elena had already moved, her body flowing through the maintenance shaft with liquid grace. The experiments had changed more than her biology. They'd awakened something that felt ancient, primal, as if human DNA had contained dormant abilities just waiting for the right trigger. She reached a sealed terminal and placed her hand against it. The purple glow beneath her skin intensified, interfacing with the technology in ways that should have been impossible. Security encryptions crumbled as her enhanced nervous system processed data faster than the station's quantum computers. The files that emerged told a story more terrifying than she'd imagined. Project Renaissance, she read, her enhanced mind translating multiple alien languages simultaneously. Primary objective: controlled evolution of sentient species. Secondary objective: prevention of emergence-level biological anomalies. Test Case 47, Earth. More files cascaded across the screen. Detailed analyses of human DNA spanning centuries. Reports of failed attempts to introduce limiting factors into Earth's biosphere. Growing concern about humanity's accelerating adaptation rate. They've been trying to stop us, Elena whispered. They've been trying to stop us from becoming this. A new alarm shattered her concentration. The maintenance shaft filled with containment foam, but her altered body simply absorbed and processed the chemicals. She could feel her cells adapting again, becoming even more efficient at surviving. Fascinating process, isn't it? A familiar voice echoed through the shaft. The executor from the diplomatic mission materialized from the shadows, their black armor seeming to bend light itself. How human biology takes every threat and turns it into an advantage. It's exactly what we feared would happen. Elena shifted into a defensive stance, noting how naturally her body responded to the threat. You've been experimenting on humanity for generations. Trying to prevent this very scenario, the executor agreed. Your species evolved on a death world, constantly adapting to new threats, but you never stopped. Every challenge, every obstacle, every attempt to control your development only made you stronger. You're an evolutionary bomb waiting to explode across the galaxy. The maintenance shaft's gravity reversed suddenly, but Elena's body adjusted instantly, anchoring herself against a ceiling. The executor's armor hummed with deadly energy. The Council believed controlled exposure to K-789 would finally prove human biology could be overwhelmed. They continued. Instead, you've proven their worst fears. Your adaptation rate is accelerating. Soon, nothing in the known galaxy will be able to contain you. Elena felt her enhanced systems processing this information, drawing connections she would have missed before. The hidden power signature, she realized. You have a failsafe, something to stop human evolution permanently. The executor's armor shifted, revealing weapons Elena's new senses couldn't even comprehend. Unfortunately, you won't live long enough to warn your species. Containing one evolved human is difficult enough. We can't risk. They never finished the sentence. Elena's altered biology had already analyzed their weapon systems, calculated weak points, and moved faster than their targeting computers could track. The maintenance shaft erupted into chaos as human adaptability faced off against the galaxy's most advanced military technology. And deep below, the station's hidden heart pulsed with enough power to rewrite the evolutionary destiny of an entire species, if Elena could reach it in time. The battle in the maintenance shaft lasted exactly 3.7 seconds. Elena's enhanced mind processed every microsecond in crystal clarity as her adapted biology moved with impossible precision. The executor's advanced weapons discharged in patterns designed to prevent escape, but her cells were already adapting to the energy signatures, absorbing and redirecting the force. Impossible, the executor gasped as their final shot dissipated harmlessly against Elena's glowing skin. The armor's targeting systems can't. You're moving between the milliseconds. Elena slammed them against the wall, her enhanced strength crumpling the supposedly indestructible armor like paper. Your own experiments did this, she said, watching purple energy course through her veins. Every attempt to limit us just showed our DNA new ways to evolve. The station's eyes screamed alerts in increasingly desperate tones as Elena ripped through the executor's neural interfaces, absorbing tactical data directly from their armor's computers. The hidden facility beneath them wasn't just a failsafe, it was a temporal evolution chamber. Something designed to reach back through time itself and alter the fundamental development of species. You don't understand, the executor wheezed through their damaged systems. Humanity wasn't supposed to exist. Your planet should have produced calm, controllable life forms. We seeded Earth with stabilizing agents for millions of years. But your species, you treated every restriction as a challenge. Elena's enhanced mind raced through the implications. The mass extinctions in Earth's history. The sudden evolutionary leaps. Those were your interventions. Attempts to prevent this exact scenario. A species that can adapt to anything, that grows stronger from every defeat. Do you have any idea how terrifying that is to a stable galaxy? Deep below, Elena sensed the evolution chamber powering up. Her new abilities painted a clear picture. They were preparing to rewrite Earth's entire evolutionary timeline. Billions of years of careful manipulation were about to be enforced in one desperate move. Security breach in temporal core, the AI announced. Warning. Subject's adaptation rate exceeding containment parameters. Warning. Station systems experiencing unprecedented biological interface. The A's voice dissolved into static as Elena's altered biology began interfacing directly with the station's quantum networks. Information flooded her consciousness, security protocols, emergency overrides, and something else. Something hidden in the deepest encryption layers. No, the executor whispered, realizing what she'd found. That data is sealed by the Council itself. You can't possibly. But Elena's evolved systems were already processing the hidden files. The truth hit her like a supernova. It wasn't just about controlling evolution, she said, watching the data unfold in her mind. You were afraid because you'd seen this before. Humanity isn't the first species to break your controls. The station shuddered as massive energy signatures began building in the temporal core. Elena could feel the power gathering, enough to rewrite billions of years of Earth's history, to ensure humanity never developed their troublesome adaptability. The others had to be erased, the executor said quietly. The galaxy cannot survive evolutionary wildcards. Species must develop according to plan, must remain predictable, controllable. Elena's laugh cut them off. That's your fundamental mistake. Evolution isn't about control. It's about change, adaptation, survival. And you just gave humanity's greatest survival trait a quantum-level power boost. She reached out with her enhanced senses, feeling the station's systems respond to her evolved biology. The temporal core's energy readings began to fluctuate as her cells interfaced with its quantum structure. The galaxy's most advanced technology was being rewritten by the very thing it was designed to prevent: unrestricted adaptation. "What are you doing?" The executor tried to move, but Elena's strength held them easily. "Proving your worst fears right," she replied, watching the purple glow spread from her body into the station's systems. "Humanity isn't just going to survive your attempts to control us. We're going to evolve beyond them. And after today, the galaxy will have to adapt to us." The temporal core's containment fields began to fail as Elena's enhanced biology rewrote its fundamental protocols. Deep Station Zero was about to learn a lesson the hard way: never give a human being exactly what they need to evolve past your defenses. The real question was, what would humanity become once the galaxy's attempts to control them were finally shattered? The temporal core of Deep Station Zero wasn't just a machine. It was a monument to the galaxy's fear of uncontrolled evolution. As Elena's enhanced biology interfaced with its quantum systems, centuries of hidden history flooded her consciousness. She saw civilizations that had evolved incorrectly being carefully erased from time. Species with too much potential being guided down safer paths, all in the name of galactic stability. Emergency protocols failing, the station's AI announced, its voice distorting as Elena's adapted cells rewrote its quantum circuitry. "Warning. Temporal containment breach imminent. Warning. Detecting unauthorized biological integration with core systems." The executor, still pinned by Elena's enhanced strength, watched in horror as purple energy began flowing through the station's structural supports. "You're not just interfacing with the technology," they realized. "You're evolving it." Elena felt her consciousness expanding through the station's networks, accessing restricted databases across the galaxy. The truth was even more staggering than she'd imagined. Earth wasn't an accident, it was an experiment that had gone spectacularly wrong. "The Council seeded thousands of Deathworlds," she said, watching the data stream through her enhanced mind. "They wanted to understand how life adapts to extreme conditions, but they always maintained control, always ensured evolution followed their approved paths, except on Earth." The station's walls pulsed with bioluminescence as her adapted cells spread further. Through the quantum networks, she could sense other facilities across the galaxy starting to respond to her presence. The Council's entire evolutionary control system was being rewritten by human adaptability. Something was different about Earth's life forms, the executor admitted, their armor systems failing as Elena's biology overrode their quantum shields. "No matter what controls we introduced, your planet's evolution kept innovating, finding new paths we hadn't predicted, developing traits that shouldn't have been possible." Elena saw it in the data, millions of years of frustrated reports as Earth's biosphere refused to follow the Council's carefully planned development paths. Life forms combining traits in unprecedented ways, animals developing intelligence along unusual patterns, and finally, humanity, a species that treated every evolutionary obstacle as a challenge to overcome. The K-789 tests weren't just about weapons, she realized. You were trying to understand why humans adapt differently. Why way? A new alarm cut through the station, this one broadcasting on frequencies Elena's enhanced senses had never detected before. Through the quantum network, she sensed massive ships emerging from hyperspace, the Council's ultimate fail-safe fleet. "You don't understand what you've done," the executor whispered. "The Council would rather destroy this entire sector than let unconstrained evolution spread. Those ships carry enough firepower to sterilize 1,000 worlds." But Elena was already ahead of them. Her evolved biology had spread through enough of the station's systems to access its deepest secrets. And in those hidden files, she found something that changed everything. "That's not why they're really here," she said, watching the truth unfold in streams of quantum data. "They're afraid because they've seen this before. Humanity isn't the first species to break free of evolutionary control. We're just the first to survive long enough to understand what's happening." The station shuddered as the Council fleet took up attack positions. But Elena felt something else building, a response from her adapted cells that went beyond mere survival. She wasn't just interfacing with the station anymore. She was becoming something new, something the Council had spent billions of years trying to prevent. The others, she continued, purple energy coursing through her evolved form, the species you erased from history. They weren't mistakes. They were the galaxy's natural response to your artificial control, evolution itself trying to break free. And now, through the quantum networks, she sensed panic spreading through the Council fleet as her enhanced biology began affecting their systems. Humanity's greatest strength had never been about mere survival. It was about adaptation, about taking every challenge and using it to grow stronger. The Council had given her exactly what she needed to prove it. The Council fleet's quantum weapons powered up, their energy signatures burning across Elena's enhanced senses like artificial stars. But through the station's networks, she could feel their hesitation. Their scans were detecting something they'd never seen before, human biology evolving beyond their ability to predict or control. Final warning, a new voice boomed through the quantum channels. Surrender control of Deep Station Zero, or we will be forced to initiate total sector sterilization. Elena felt her adapted cells resonating with the station's temporal core, understanding flowing through her enhanced consciousness. You're too late, she broadcast back, her evolved biology transmitting directly through quantum frequencies. I've seen your records. I know what humanity really is. The hidden files told a story that rewrote galactic history. Long ago, before the Council began controlling evolution, the galaxy had been full of wildcard species, civilizations that developed in unexpected ways that challenged the established order with their constant adaptation and growth. The Council's evolutionary controls weren't about stability, they were about fear. The human genome was supposed to be perfect. The Council leader's voice cracked with frustration. We spent millions of years preparing Earth's biosphere, introducing limiting factors, establishing controlled development paths. Your species should have been our greatest achievement in evolutionary engineering. Through the quantum network, Elena showed them what she discovered in the station's deepest archives. Instead, you created your worst nightmare. A species that takes every limitation and turns it into an advantage. We didn't just survive your controls, we used them to become stronger. The station's temporal core pulsed with power as her evolved biology integrated further with its systems. She could feel the Council fleet's weapons locking on, their targeting computers trying to predict her movements. But human adaptability had moved beyond such simple constraints. You don't understand, she continued, watching purple energy flow through the quantum networks. Humanity isn't a mistake in your evolutionary controls. We're evolution's answer to those controls. Every species you erased, every potential you tried to limit, it all led to us, to this moment. The Council leader's response carried notes of genuine fear. The galaxy cannot survive unconstrained evolution. The chaos, the unpredictable development. You mean life? Elena's laugh carried through the quantum frequencies. Real evolution isn't about control. It's about adaptation, change, growth. Everything you tried to suppress just made humanity better at embracing those principles. Through the station's sensors, she felt the Council fleet's weapons reaching critical power. They would destroy everything to prevent what she represented from spreading. But Elena's enhanced biology had already moved beyond their understanding of possible. The temporal core's energy merged with her evolved cells, creating something that even her enhanced mind couldn't fully comprehend. She wasn't just adapting anymore, she was becoming a bridge between what humanity was and what it could be. Your choice is simple, she broadcast to the fleet. Accept that evolution cannot be controlled, that life finds its own path. Or fire those weapons and watch humanity adapt to that too. Either way, the galaxy is about to change. For a moment that stretched across quantum frequencies, the Council fleet hung in space, their weapons primed to erase another evolutionary wildcard from history. But this time was different. This time, they faced a species that had turned their own controls into stepping stones for advancement. The weapons powered down. Through the quantum networks, Elena felt the ripples of change beginning to spread. Human adaptability had done more than survive the Council's ultimate weapons. It had proven that evolution itself could not be contained. The galaxy would have to adapt to a new reality, one where development couldn't be predicted or controlled. In Deep Station Zero's temporal core, Elena's evolved form pulsed with possibilities. Humanity had broken free of artificial constraints, proving that life's greatest strength wasn't in following predetermined paths, but in finding new ones. The Council's evolutionary controls had tried to create a perfectly stable galaxy. Instead, they created the perfect conditions for humanity to demonstrate why adaptation, change, and unpredictability weren't flaws to be corrected. They were the very essence of life itself. The real evolution was just beginning.